note from your grandma. It says dolphin testicle 89. She said you'd understand what that meant.
No,
I don't think we do.
we don't.
You guys want something? We'll just cook that one a little longer. Maybe give it to one of the older people.
What is happening?
Well, hello.
Did you just spit in your mouth? You can't drink it. I have no choice.
Whitney, Mallory, Jeff in Las Vegas. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
Man, I love Stop and Go. What a fun comedy. Especially, it's so topical. A COVID indie comedy, I should say. You know, best friends whose lives and routines are changed by COVID. This is something that everyone can relate to. So, you guys, you know, you play best friends in the movie, but you seem like you're best friends in real life too. And Whitney, is that true?
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other since we were 8. We've been making stuff together since we were 8. Some of it, you know, less worthy of eyes than others. Yeah, we've been making things together for a long time. We did sketch comedy together in college, and then on a show called Studio C, and then we made web series together. So, I mean, this was a long time coming. We'd wanted to make a film for a long time. So when the pandemic hit, we finally had time, and we found money and just made what we could together.
And Mallory, this is an 18-hour road trip to go get grandma from the nursing home. Is a road trip genre like the most fun to make for an actor?
You know, I've only made this one movie, so I don't know a ton about you know, other types of movies. I would say that the road trip genre has its perks for sure. I mean, one thing that I'll say that was awesome was that we part of the reason we picked this and we decided to make it happen over a short period of time was because we knew that we were going to have such a small crew that we weren't going to have wardrobe or makeup. So we just had the same hair and the same like very minimal makeup that we could do ourselves and wore the same clothes every single day. So that was nice. Like we weren't spending almost any time thinking about that at all. Which normally for an actor, like you're always like, I mean, I always feel like I'm sort of trying to keep track of, am I on the right day? Am I doing the right thing? And for this movie, for a movie that takes place over a day period instead of longer, that's kind of convenient, but there's a lot of monotony for sure. Like we were in that car for so many days.
Well, maybe I should say writing a road trip movie is the most fun but maybe I should have said it that way.
Oh, well, that's a good question too. I mean, again, like I think writing anything with Whitney would be fun. We just had a great time writing together. We really enjoyed the writing process on this film. It's half the reason we decided to go for it, even though it was super scary to make it so fast. We wanted to be able to, when we realized we had a COVID comedy on our hands, we thought, okay, so festival deadlines are a month or how many months out were they? It was the beginning of July and the festival deadline started in October. Like the South by and the Sundance deadlines were in October. So the reason that we kind of decided to go for it, even though it was super scary and we had almost no time to make this movie, was because of how much fun we had when we were writing it. It was just such a simple, sort of easy process once we had our outline that we really liked. And we thought, I remember us getting to the end of the writing process and thinking, there are so many scenes in this movie that I'm excited to film. And that's, I think, a really big deal for a writer to be able to say, like, I'm excited to see this and this and this. So I would highly recommend it. Everyone should write a road trip comedy.
And Whitney, is it weird wearing the same clothes the entire film?
I remember having like visceral reactions putting those clothes on every day because
stiff.
They were stiff. They were stiff with sweat. I'd wash them on the weekend, or maybe if we'd gotten done early that night, I was able to throw them in the wash. But
I remember washing my socks in the sink a couple of times, like just wash these socks.
You know, I love the character of the sister. I mean, I thought she was the funniest thing. You know, every time she came on, sisters on a cruise ship, tickets were so cheap. You know, the best line of the whole movie: "They don't have testing here on the cruise ship, so technically no one has COVID." I mean, I've been laughing at that all morning. I just thought that was hysterical. And also, how do you drive with rollerblades on? That looked really complicated.
Oh yeah. Luckily, I wasn't really doing that. That was just movie magic for you.
Movie magic. And you know, and also I know you wrote the screenplay, but I felt a lot of improv going on. So you had a scene that was set up, and it looked like you just like some of the best comedy gold can come from, especially if you have an improv group like you do. You know, so it was a lot of scenes improv.
We actually didn't have time to improv them on set. We knew that we were just going to have so much to film in one day each time we were going back to set that we knew we had to have this script tight. So I think during the car scenes where we were playing games like Would You Rather or Deal Breaker, I think we kept those improvised so that our reactions would be really fresh, because knowing that we were going to be rehearsing those, you know, over and over each day, we wanted that to be a legitimate reaction. But other than that, all of our improvisation came in the writing process. Mal and I, that was kind of how the script was able to roll out so well, was we would laugh back and forth about scenes that we were kind of coming up with. And once we really sweetened a moment after, you know, kind of vibing back and forth, we'd get these lines that we really felt solid about, and then we'd write them down. And so, yeah, a lot of those scenes, they were improvised, but, you know, with supervision, because then they had to go through the script process.
Now, since this is a COVID comedy, are you prepared for a lot of people to relate to some of your stories in this, you know, because everyone's got a COVID story. So
yeah, I mean, we really, really hope that that's how it's received. You know, it was a huge relief for us to make, and we hope it's a relief for people to watch. We just, we wanted people to be able to, we were hoping that people could relate and that they would feel like they were just hanging out with some friends who understood what they've been through.
Well, you captured that panic that happened at the beginning of COVID, where everyone was sterilizing everything. You know, that's called, you know, it's kind of died down, but nobody wanted to touch anything, and, you know, and spraying everything. So I kind of forgot about all that, you know, how people were, I mean, I had a bottle of hand sanitizer like this big in my car for months, you know, and now, so you kind of captured that I kind of forgot about. And I love you ladies to death. Okay. So I love the movie. So but I wanted to tell you my own story. And I have a great sense of humor, but I lost my mom to COVID in the nursing home last May.
Sorry.
Yeah. And I just thought this movie was it's just, to me, I liked how it's a release for me that was another way for me to kind of deal with that, you know, because it's still kind of fresh in my mind. But I liked how you know, that was the plot of the story. And, you know, because my mom had a great sense of humor. And so I kind of identify, I haven't found a COVID movie that could help me. It's almost like therapy. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
Thank you, Jeff. That's honestly, like, I mean, we've had so many, just for some people, just the worst things that could have happened to them last year. And so we've just been praying basically while this movie's been coming out that is how it's received, because there's just so much pressure when something like that is happening just constantly. Every day you're just having these horrible things happening. And so we hope that is how people can experience it, that this just like, wow. I mean, I totally can feel someone else's pain as well. And now that we're all in this experience together, maybe we can find that, you know, that valve and relieve some pressure a little bit to just find a laugh in there somewhere. And it's not necessarily a laugh that we wanted to make as like, gosh, like, let's talk about how much things suck. It's more just like, let's find a way to laugh and say like, man, it feels so good to know that I'm not alone.
And also the theme of family too, which I loved in the film too. So, well, thank you both for joining me today. I enjoyed the film immensely. And if you're not busy later, you want to meet me down at the docks, you know, maybe we could, you know.
The dock.
Yeah, let's go to the docks for sure. It's our favorite spot.
Thank you so much, and best of luck with the film. And come visit us in Las Vegas. We'd love to have you sometime.
We'd love that, Jeff. Thank you.
All right, take care. Thank you.